Okay, welcome back, AP Scholars. We are going to be taking a look at the answer to the first programming question, AreaToRadius, and I got it wrong. So I'm going to make that right now. Let's do it, everyone. I got it wrong because I didn't read the question. And what a purely um, wonderful thing to do wrong on the first programming question of AP Computer Science, because that's actually one of the hardest things about the AP exam. You'll see, mark my words, when we get to studying AP exams, just actually questions in general that get harder in programming, understanding what the question is will be top priority. It'll actually be one of the harder parts of the question. So anyways, apparently I failed at that, and how suitable. So here we go. First, I'll just go over the answers of the things that I got correct, and then we'll make the changes as we go. So this is our import statement for making sure we connect this program to the scanner class so we can use the scanner. And this is all available in the template. Here's my class. It's named AreaToRadius. That I got right. I correctly wrote that down. And here's our main method. So we begin the main method and we can start declaring our variables. So here's the scanner. That's always going to be the same. And then I have these variables here. We have a radius and an area. And we are initializing them to 0. And that's a good practice, I think, for general, just in case something goes wrong when you're entering data or something goes awry. Having a default value and initializing this to a default value is always a good idea. So just choose a value that won't be a problem. 0 is a great default value to initialize to. All right, so now we're going to go into the getting the user input aspect. So these are just some, I don't know, just looks pretty, I guess. I'm just using the print line, print ln. This is an L and an N, by the way, in case anyone wasn't sure about that. It's just a title, circle, area calculator, and here's our first mistake. It's actually a radius calculator. I'm not sure what happened with my typing there. It's a radius calculator. We're supposed to give it the area, and then it reverse calculates the radius for us. So, whoops, that's okay. It's got some like little typographical marks to make it look kind of fancy. Here's a print line just to put an enter so it goes down to the next line. And here's supposed to be what the radius is, but I'm going to put in the circle's area instead. Ho ho ho. And then we're going to, pardon me, these late night videos. I should be drinking, well, no, I shouldn't drink coffee this late at night. I'll just let the enthusiasm of teaching fill my heart and we'll continue on. So I'm not actually taking a radius anymore, so I'm going to switch this to area. And I think we're good to go now. So I'm using sc.nextDouble. It's sc because I named my scanner sc, and if I had changed that name, then this would have to change as well. NextDouble gets a real number, basically. I guess it can't be irrational, but gets a rational number is a good way to put it. Okay, so that's a good thing. Now we have to calculate the radius, not the area. So calculate and display radius is the correct thing to do. So I'm going to reverse engineer this calculation. This isn't wrong, but it's just getting the wrong thing. So I want to solve for r. So what I need to do is divide both sides by math.pi. And then I need to square root this. And so I'm going to do math.squirt. And then you just stick with your square rooting or squirting in here. Now, unfortunately, this looks like, oops, I forgot radius. You might think, oh, I could do it this way because I'm solving an equation and it doesn't matter what side, what's on in math. Well, it does matter in Java. So you can't have the assignment on this side. I can't have it on the right. It has to be on the left. So I'll move it over to here where I say r equals that. So it's going to be the square root of area divided by pi. And that should give us our radius. Yeah? Sounds good? So now we're going to see this. Here's our print line. The circle with radius. I guess the circle with area. Area. Units squared. I guess I'll put the caret there. Has a radius of r units, period. Haha, is corrected. Hey, notice that The text that I want to show up on the screen is contained within double quotes. Now I want to have multiple areas with double quotes here and double quotes there, and here a quote, there a quote, everywhere a double quote. But I also want to put variables in here, and I don't want the word area to show up. I want the value of area to show up. So you can put that in between two pieces of text or at the end of some text, some strings, by using the plus signs. In this case, technically they're called concatenation operators. We'll get more into that when we talk about strings. But that will kind of glue together the literal strings that we're using here and the value of the variable that it'll evaluate with some more text, more strings. So we have possibly succeeded. Let's see if we have any errors. And this is always the exciting part here. I think I'm good, but I noticed the coloring's a little bit off. So I'm going to press Command or Control K, and let's see if it compiled. Oh, it says compiled. I'm not too sure why the coloring went all off, but that happens sometimes. So let's go run it and see if we get what we expect. So to run the program, I'm going to go over to here, and I'm going to run main method. And I probably should get like a calculator out and like think about what would be a good choice of questions to ask it for testing. If you just type in numbers, who knows what it's going to be. But I'll just do my best to come up with something. So the terminal showed up, and like over here, it's got a lot of mess going on here. So I'm going to just make this full screen, and I'm going to view the terminal, show terminal. Now I gotta like stretch it out. I don't know why it got so tiny. There we go. Awesome. And I'll go the other way now. Okay. So here we are. So now we're supposed to type in the circle's area. So I put 314. I know it's not quite. 0.15. I've forgotten all my digits of pi at this point. Is that even close? I don't know. I'll just type that in for the area, and it will calculate. It has about radius of 9.9998. So like pretty close. So not far away from 10. So this looks correct to me. I think that's accurate. So it looks like we did okay. If you were doing a more complicated program, you might have to test it at multiple values. And I can see some problems here that could arise. So for example, if you put in a negative area or something, like, that doesn't make sense. So there could be some more robust error checking, but that's not really what we're doing for our first assignment. I want you to not have to worry about everything that we are worrying about, like learning BlueJ and this new Java stuff, plus all these extra complications. But if you're feeling up to it, then you could think about what are some other things that I need to check in this program, like making sure the area is not negative. Like, who's heard of a negative area before, right? I mean, I guess you could, because you could subtract areas. So I guess you could have negative areas. Or could you? I don't really know. Because they're squared. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. I could be. I'm embarrassing myself with my lack of knowledge of whether areas can be negative. So we're just not gonna worry about it as we get started on this. Okay. So this is our first program. Hopefully that made sense as we corrected it, and I'm gonna show you soon how to upload it to GitHub. So that's gonna be really good. Okay. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.